Had trouble getting on. No doubt, man. $35 hits already in this game. Fire it. Oh, solo me. Oh, solo me. How you doing, Junior? Hey, no, Skull Island had to call FEMA and had to get reparations and for like, sure, yes, we had to call like the Federal Reserve and like get immediate funds and to keep the bitch rolling. And I didn't realize that we were in such economic straits. And then before you know it, you're like, boy, I'll tell you, like a son of a bitch. Oh yeah, hey man, like Kong Katrina was awful. Hey, by the way, congratulations. We are going on in Orlando, I believe next week. They'll be contacting you guys to get all the particulars, and Fort Walton as well. How you done? And it's the JVC Broadcasting Company, and this FM gets to Tampa too. So it's in Orlando. It's got Bubba the Love Sponge on it, and it's a pretty good signal. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, how you doing? Oh, right back in my grill.
If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Oh, yeah, hey, trust me, Kong Island was in bad shape, dog.
Hey, what's that?
Bought groceries with my Credit Karma Money debit card and want to reimburse
And filled it with nachos. Don't say it.
Wow.
For the stuff you pay for with instant.
Wow.
I'm David Collado, president and co-owner of Happy Howie's Dog Treats. We make all natural dog treats,
Oh.
and we're growing really fast.
Getting your feet pounded?
Maxing out production. That's why I chose the Spark Cash Card.
Wow.
Capital One, 'cause I earn unlimited.
That's a terrible thing, bro.
Everything I buy. Last year, I redeemed $21,000 cash back.
See, you missed me, didn't you?
Which I use for new equipment, so we can feed even more dogs.
I missed you.
Thanks to my Spark Card, we're in over 4,000 stores across
Wow.
the country. What's in your wallet?
What do you mean relocating? Where were they before, Dallas? Huh? So they're going to be broadcasting out of Pittsburgh? Pretty cool. Are you guys happy about that? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mass Mutual, proud partner of the NHL.
The time is coming for us to get out and go again.
No, no, I don't want to do anything for anybody, and I've just about had it with everybody. So there's like very few people I'm doing things for, and you are it. And I'm doing this for me too. So I mean, there's not anything I'm not doing for me. Oh yes, because it's it's independence. Yeah, it's Independence Day. It never gets old. Wow. Wow. Kong Home Alone? The Stanley Cup Finals. Sure, dog. Yeah. Good evening, America. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network, and all of our fabulous platforms. We appreciate you being with us. We thank you for coming aboard. And how's your summer doing? The happy hour of radio is here to save all of you from vaccination talk, border talk, infrastructure talk, crazy talk, Trump's back in the White House in August talk, all of that. Because I have my own little sandbox, like I tell you. It's the thing that galvanizes America, and it's American sports. And by the way, anything that you talk about is secondary to sports. Ask the networks. There's a reason they pay billions of dollars for sports to be on their networks. There's a reason for it. You know why? Because everybody can watch it or listen to it. Because everybody can root for their favorite team. It's called civic pride. I don't see too much of that going on in mainstream media when it comes to civic pride. Talk about murder rates, blaming who, blaming him, blaming her, the mayor of this city. It's all nasty. You know, that's why actually I'm in a better mental health place over the last few months, because I don't care what you guys care about. I could care less. I don't care about infrastructure bills. It has no bearing in my life. You may think it does, but it's the same bugle calls every year, every 4 years, every 2 years. It's really ridiculous. It's like sheep. Well, this administration, and you're like, you know, it's funny. When you talk about a particular football team, you know what's great about it? There's no conversation at all when you're talking about any kind of racism. It's just about a guy sucking or being fabulous. Like when you talk about Bill Belichick got the job because he's a white guy. No, Bill Belichick got the job because he's the most qualified guy, unlike the rest of our country. And then you can start doing this. Yeah, you know, but Bill, I don't know this year. You think Bill's going to really have a good team? And you know what, quite frankly, if Belichick doesn't have Tom Brady, how good a coach is he? It's a good question. It's a fair question. It's a fair question. That's what makes sports great. You can debate, and we all, on both sides of the aisle, can debate our favorite sports topics. I will start out, though, with earth-shattering news today. It had to have been one of the most shocking comments I have ever heard from a star player about a particular coach. I was stunned. And quite frankly, I really don't know how to dissect it. Maybe you can help. Here we go. So I guess on the Dan Patrick Show earlier today, maybe 6 hours, 7 hours ago. Scottie Pippen and Dan Patrick are going back and forth on a dialogue, and Dan Patrick brought up, hey, there's, the notion out there that Phil used to use racial innuendos. And Scottie Pippen blatantly just said this: Phil Jackson's a racist. And as a good broadcaster, Dan followed it up with, can you give me some moments where you can point to that accentuates that point that you just made, that Phil Jackson's a racist? You're talking Phil Jackson, the greatest NBA coach, win-wise and championship-wise, in the history of the NBA. Okay? His 6 titles with the Chicago Bulls are legendary with the Jordan era. His other titles, his 4 titles, which gave him 10, and he's got one as a player when he was with the New York. This guy's got 11 NBA championships. Coached some of the greatest players of all time: Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman. Go down the list. We all know the names. They're legendary. Pippen came out today and called Phil a racist. And you know how he used it? Here's how he put it in perspective for you. Well, and I want you to listen to what I'm saying here, because I'm kind of paraphrasing it, but quite frankly, I'm actually to his point. He said, who would write a book about Kobe Bryant and then turn around and coach him? Now, I'm lost on that analogy there. How did Scottie Pippen tie into a fact? How do you know that Kobe and Phil didn't bury the hatchet with some of the things that were written in a book that Phil wrote about Kobe? Then he went back and coached him. And they coached him to a championship, by the way. I mean, that was his premise on calling Phil Jackson a racist, because he wrote a book about him with no racial innuendo in there. Now, Phil got into some hot water when he was the president of the Knicks, and he used, I guess, the term posse. It's not a racist term. Today's culture made it a racist term. See, we can take any word today and turn it into a racial word. My God almighty, we attacked the Aunt Jemima box and called it racist. I mean, whatever. To me, they're pancakes. They're pancakes. Okay? You can do whatever you want with anything today. So at the end of the day, I'm sitting here trying to think, and I went back and I listened, and I'm like, where's the example of racism? This is the problem that we have when you throw out crying wolf too many times and you use the term racist. That's not racist. That has nothing to do with racism. Scottie Pippen is an ignorant fool who doesn't know the understanding of racism. Writing a book because you had a problem with the way Kobe went about his business, and then you turn around and coach him again, is not racist. I don't even know where to go with that. So with me, does Phil Jackson need to address this? I think he does. When one of your greatest players, I would say this to you, Scottie Pippen's one of the top 20 players in the history of the NBA. I think Phil needs to address it. I think Steve Kerr, the head coach of the Golden State Warriors, who was on those teams, needs to address it. And most importantly, I do think that Michael Jordan needs to address it. Because when you're going to destroy or try to destroy a guy's name and reputation, you should have facts behind it. And by the way, let me back up on this and suggest to you and say to you that it's very important. Okay? It's very important that this gets addressed. because the guy's legacy's on the line. You know, a couple weeks ago, we were talking about Bo Schembechler, and there's comments made by his stepson that there was a doctor that was in the Michigan football department and in the athletic department that was sexually assaulting athletes. And there's been both sides of the story going back and forth. People have commented on it. You know, people are trying to get to what's the truth. I think there's probably somewhere in the middle there. I don't know what that middle is. But this needs to be addressed. Scottie Pippen came out. And by the way, I just Googled it. And sure enough, Pippen called Phil Jackson a racist. Isn't that the first time you've heard any of this? It's the first time I've heard this. As a matter of fact, you would think with all the things that Phil has been said about him or called by other people, I've never heard that. Why this now? Where did this come from? Remember something today. Let me tell you, quite frankly, what a lot of people are doing. Clicks. Relevancy. What's the fastest way for Scottie Pippen to be in the news? Hell, I'm leading my show off with it. It's to call the greatest coach in the history of the NBA a racist. Are you doing that so that you can make yourself more relevant? Would you think people are that low? Have you not been listening to the mainstream media? Take a look at some of those CNN reporters. Acosta and all them guys, they'll say anything, do anything. They'll make any story up they possibly can to be relevant. Any story. Doesn't matter. Russia, what have you. So is Pippen taking a page out of their playbook? Man, I'll tell you, Scottie Pippen could do more harm to his reputation if he can't prove this than any other athlete I've ever seen. And by the way, I'm not saying here because I don't know the facts. And by the way, he always fires back with the most important thing that he could possibly have that's an asset on his side. Do you know what that is? Hey, I was in the locker room. Were you? That shuts down every single journalist that possibly could question that comment by Pippen, right? Were you there? I was. That's why I think it's important to hear from Dennis Rodman, from Michael Jordan, from Steve Kerr, from Horace Grant, from Paul Gasol, you know, maybe even from Vanessa Bryant. I think it's important. That has to be addressed because one's reputation is on the line. Hey, if we're talking just about, hey, listen, anytime you throw that out on anybody, boy, I hope people, listen, I get that comment thrown at me sometimes. And people don't know me from a can of paint. Maybe I'm hypersensitive to it. I think you have to have some context here. And when your context is, well, he wrote a book about Kobe. That's not context. He wrote a book about Kobe and then coached him. Did he ever call him the N-word? Did he ever call him boy? Did he ever say anything with a racial tone to it to anyone? How about to you? You see, he has a problem with the fact that he drew up a play for Tony Kukoc. Scottie Pippen thinks that's racist. That's not racism. That's going to the guy who has the better shot. Phil thought Tony Kukoc had a better shot than Scottie Pippen did. That's a coaching decision, not a racial decision. You really think the greatest coach in the history of the NBA, coaching Michael Jordan, Jordan would have tolerated that kind of tone or that kind of behavior? Man, I sure hope we get some clarification here on this. Am I right when I say this? Phil Jackson's a racist, according to Scottie Pippen. More to come. I'm sure of it. A college coach is bitching about some of the rule changes in the NC2A. Go figure. We'll do it next. Kerr. Or Steve or Paxton. Get this though, dude. His context is that Phil wrote a book about Kobe and then went back and coached him again to another NBA title. I'm not getting the context. He went to it. Do you think you don't, my God Almighty, you don't really think that he's doing that just to be relevant? Or you think he's just an idiot? Pippen. What? That's good. That's good. They did. They did. Why would you say that? God. It surely is, man. It's one. Oh, no doubt. Bolts are up 1-0. Oh my God! Did you see that thing? They put that kid on the. They put Kevin Love on the NBA. That's a good point. I'm going to bring that one up. Way to remind me. Thank you. That's a great one. Kevin Love on the U.S. Olympic team. And the Bird shouldn't even been on the team, but they respected him so much because his back was so bad. I don't even think he played much. It's great seeing the Habs jersey on the ice here. The place is packed, too. Corey Price has got to be insane great. I get it. A lot of people are. Yeah. Thank you. See, man, when you're King Kong, you know how to climb the Empire State Building. You haven't done it in 35 fucking years. It doesn't matter, guy. It's just who it is, you know? Always remember that. Yes. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Oh, we've got some great news coming up. I won't say it here yet, but a new city, actually 2 cities, will be coming aboard the Dan Sileo Show here on USA Radio Network. And one of them is very familiar. And I can't wait to talk to some of our old listeners. It's going to be great. We really look forward to this. So We'll give you that news here in a second. Well, actually, in a couple days. So how about that for you? All right. I'll get to Scott Frost, the head coach in Nebraska, here in a second. But I want to talk a little bit. And again, I don't mean to come off here and do a 2-block segment here on racism or fake news racism and people trying to be relevant in the race industry. I've told you this before. The race industry in this country, very profitable. Very profitable. And when you can take that arrow out of your satchel and fire it with no collateral damage, it's a troubling time in broadcasting and in journalism when one side of the room can do it and the other side gets questioned for every single thing that they do. Okay? Everything that they do. I'm going to bring a point up a little bit later on, too, about Eric Bieniemy and why he's been passed over so many times. I found something out very interesting about him, and I'll expand on it here in a minute. So I saw Jalen Rose, and here's another race baiter. That's what these people are. They're race baiters. Scottie Pippen's a race baiter now, as far as I'm concerned. There has been nowhere in Phil Jackson's entire resume on dealing with players that anyone has ever thrown racism out. Pippen throws it out today that Phil Jackson's a racist. How about this? Even Dan Patrick went, you mean there was a moment that he did something that could have been construed as racism? No, he called him a racist. I was in the locker room. And Dan, shut up. The follow-up would have been, can you give me some examples? So here's another race baiter, Jalen Rose. So Jalen Rose says the only reason that Kevin Love is put on the U.S. Olympic team and that they needed a white face on the U.S. men's basketball team to go to the Olympics because they needed a white guy. That's how he presented that. They needed a white boy on the team. For what? You think I watched the NBA? By the way, I've been watching more NBA. I really love the Phoenix Suns story. Game away from going to the NBA Finals. I think Chris Paul's done a great job. You know what? Without LeBron James, I'm actually more engaged with the NBA playoffs than I have been in the last 5 years. How about that for you? Will Milwaukee end up winning? I don't know. Clippers, once again, are going to bow out. Okay. Suns are going to make it to the finals. You're going to have Suns and Bucks. Hey, man, that might be actually pretty cool to see a team that no one expected to win an NBA championship. Way to go, dude. You got me engaged. And then you got people saying, well, the only reason that Kevin Love is on the Dream Team or the U.S. Olympic basketball team is because they needed a white boy. Click, click, click. What a disgrace. I don't know how that's not racist. Okay? That's racist right there, what Jalen Rose said. That is racist. That right there, my friends, is racism. If I said the only reason that they put a black guy on the team was because they needed a black guy, that's racism. Dude, it's got to be fair both ways. How uncool. All right. I'll hit on Scott Frost, the head coach in Nebraska, making a jackass of himself. We'll do that next. Never. We'll never be fired. Well, here's the point, too. You know how Don Lemon says that the United States is a massively racist country? He's worth $50 million and owns 3 homes and lives in Martha's Vineyard. How's it oppressed him? Yeah. I hate how people can get away with that. I really do. I know I didn't want to go into it there. Like, I don't know if it sounded good. Oh, yeah, by the way. Look at you, know that. Look at you. Oh, right. Wow. Wow. Good, man. You? Oh, yes. Everybody's way better. Way better. No, I've been told to go outside. They've carved out a spot for me. Yes, sir. On NBCSN, yeah. I think that's a very good call. You can't even put game one on the national network. That's a good call. That's a great call, Chris. Got some great. No. It's a good point. Why this sport here? That's such a great take. I'm stealing it. It's such a great take. Yeah, hey, that was such a great take. I love it. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. My guy Chris O just pointed out to me that game one of the Stanley Cup Finals, the Montreal Canadiens versus the defending champion Tampa Bay Lightning, is like on cable access, that a cable station that's going dark in a few months, that's the only place you could find it. Not on the main network, because they have a gigantic show going on. No, you would think like some convention or maybe a rally or, maybe an update on the coronavirus. No, it's American Ninja Warrior. Okay, and I've just been informed by Trevor. It's games 1 and 2 are on the worst sports cable network that's on your server. That's on your provider. The worst sports network. By the way, I like the sports that's on it, but NBC hates it. It's going dormant. They're getting rid of it. It's over with. At the end of the year, there's no more NBC Sports Network. It's ended. That's it. And so the greatest franchise in NHL history with 23 Stanley Cup championships, okay, that sweater, and you have a team from the South, okay, you're not going to air that on your network. Okay. You want to know why the rest of these sports suck? There's your prime example of it. Hey, the NBA's making a rebound. DR11 is right. The only reason that the NBA is doing well is because crybaby LeBron is not in it. And we don't have to hear everything about LeBron James. Actually, you're actually promoting the sport. And people are actually engaged watching the NBA because you know why? It's not just about one guy. Okay? There's no question. Get this. You have all the crybabies out of the sport. You have fat-ass James Harden out, who ate his ass out of the whole situation in Houston. I don't want to be here no more. I don't want to be here no more, even though they gave you everything you needed. You have Kyrie Irving, who thinks the world's flat. No, Kyrie, that's just your head. You got LeBron, hey, man, it's about me, but if my team loses, it's about them. They suck. So that's always been. And nobody likes to watch that. Now you're talking about a fantastic story in Phoenix. Will the Bucks be the most healthiest team? Look, Trae Young looks like he's twisted his ankle. He was no factor in that game the other night, but the Bucks came back and won. The Bucks are going to win this thing maybe because of the war of attrition. Look at me. I even know the narratives that are going on in these playoffs. What you got now is Kevin Durant probably on one of his 88 burner accounts. Hey, man, that should be me in the finals. Yeah, I know, dude. Yeah, I know. Wow. You got games 1 and 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals on some crappy-ass sports cable access. Wayne's World had more reach. Okay? The Aurora cable channel has more reach. Wayne's World had more people watching it than the NBC Sports Network. Okay? More people watch Bravo. I'll leave that alone. Hey, I got to know. More people watch Oprah, I think. I don't know. She owns everything anyway. It's crazy, man. Honestly. I'm going to. Or how about the food? Oh, I watch the Food Network anyway, man. I'm always looking for a good meal. Wow, man. Unbelievable. Games 1 and 2. Good call, Chris O. All right, let me move on to this. Jesus criminy. That's embarrassing for the NHL. That's embarrassing. How is that not embarrassing? Well, the NBA Finals, guess where they're on? They're on like True TV. No, actually, guess what? C-SPAN just picked them up. Yeah, no, C-SPAN 4. Hey, and you got one going like this. Now, are Republicans watching or Democrats? Here's the Democratic line, 1-800, and here's the Republican line, 1-800. Call us. We'd like to know who's watching the NBA playoffs here on C-SPAN 4. Oh, man. Yeah, holy cow. Oh, man. Good night almighty. That's so embarrassing. So embarrassing. Anyway. Yeah. Hey, if you're having a bar party somewhere and you're watching the NHL, I'm sure it's an outdoor event. God. Table of 2. Hey, can I get – oh, wait, it's COVID. Don't leave the popcorn. I don't need it. Just bring me the beers. Good night almighty, man. How terrible. All right, let me get on to this topic here. Yeah, I'm going to tune – hey, I'm going to tune on to Prism. Maybe it's there. It's on Prism. Holy cow. Oh, my God almighty. I really can't get over that it's not on the network. Chris O just said, he goes, it's not on the American Ninja Warrior is. Oh, my God almighty. Come up with the baking channel. Yeah, there's no question. Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg get back. Hey, I'd like to see Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg doing a pregame show for the NHL Finals on their network. Hey, Martha, what you thinking, Martha? I could load up one of them hockey puck brownies with some good gangarang. Yay, you bring the Thunderbird, I'll bring the gangarang. Well, holy cow, man. Oh, man. Pass the bowl of soup. Give me a break, man. I'm going to tweet this out, too, in the timeout. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. You want to know why the NHL struggles with money? Because nobody promotes it. It's a tremendous sport. It's been a great run to the finals. Then you put it on some dopey-ass channel. Oh, man. Coming up on the Travel Channel, we're going to have Jim Cantori. That's the Weather Channel. The Weather Channel. The Weather Channel's going to air Game 3 of the NHL Finals. In between the hurricane they're covering. Hey, get your wood at Home Depot. Oh, by the way, Game 3. Good night. Yeah, hey, if your barn gets blown down, you can make hockey sticks. I'll show you how to make hockey sticks and a hockey goal. Oh, man, oh, man. Make it entertaining. Do something. Holy, hey, right, drop the damn thing on the Discovery Channel. Do something, man. Hey, right now, we're digging for the Pharaoh's tomb. Here in 20 minutes, we're going to have Game 3 of the NHL. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to go looking for the NHL somewhere, too. We're looking for Cleopatra's, tomb. We're also looking for the NHL. Where is it? Oh, that's right. It's on Bravo. North End Zone. Thank you. Good night, almighty. Let me get to this thing with Scott Frost. Scott Frost, do you know who he is? He's the head football coach in Nebraska. And so this dude came out. And by the way, who would have ever thought this? UCF, University of Central Florida, is a better program than the Nebraska Cornhuskers? I said it. Name me the last time Nebraska was fair. I'm not even saying decent. How about fair? When's the last time Nebraska was relevant? I don't remember. I don't ever remember as a kid Nebraska sucking like they do now. And it's an every year thing. I can't remember the last time they've had a winning record. Trevor just said 0-1. At least Mike Canes go 9-3, 8-4. These guys can't win. So guess what he decided to do? So he goes after the transfer portal. In case some of you don't know what this is, it's modern day free agency in college football. It allows a kid, if If a kid gets to a program, he doesn't like his surroundings, it gives him the ability to be able to transfer somewhere else. Sounds fair to me. Coaches don't like this because you know why? They already have enough tough time going out and finding talent. They don't want to have to keep recruiting their own, even when they have them in their own program. So it's a problem for some of these losing programs. Hey, by the way, you don't think Nick Saban has to recruit and re-recruit his guys that are on his program? Don't you think that's a tougher putt there, Alabama? Who wouldn't like to cherry pick off of Alabama's roster? Hey, kid, guess what? If you're not playing, why don't you come over here, man? You can play here. I'll start your ass. I think it'd be pretty smart because if Saban's recruiting him, don't you think that'd be cool? Remember something, Alvin Kamara, remember him? Alvin Kamara couldn't sniff the field at Alabama. He had to go to Tennessee. Hey, right. Trevor just said Texas. If I'm Steve Sarkisian, I'm calling some of them dudes up going, hey, man, guess what? I know you're not playing or you want to come over here. I got a starting job for you at offensive guard or tackle or wide receiver. So this guy's bitching about it. Well, let me tell you what Nebraska's done. Nebraska has done this. They cashed in their fame and their relevancy for the almighty dollar, and they reap what they sow. Here, do they get $45 million a year because they're in the Big Ten? Yeah. But they're now officially irrelevant. The Big Ten, by absorbing them, has made Nebraska irrelevant. Oh, that great rival between Nebraska and Iowa. Whoa. Why? Because they have corn in their state? That's how the Big Ten came up with that big rivalry. Well, Iowa's got corn. Hey, Nebraska's got corn. Hey, there's a rival. You mean, what about Oklahoma and Nebraska? Oh, no, we're not going to do that because we don't want to share any money with the Big 12. So you ended that rivalry because you didn't want to share the wealth and keep giving the fans what they want, the Nebraska-Oklahoma rivalry. You deserve this. You've officially destroyed the Nebraska football program for the almighty dollar. So when Scott Frost says, hey, man, I'm really sad. What's up going on with this transfer? Who would have ever thought that Nebraska doesn't have enough talent in their building to concern themselves with what a transfer does? That just shows you how there's nobody there. It's a dead program. Nebraska is not relevant anymore. The Big Ten systematically killed it. Do you ever remember Nebraska in the last 10 years? It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. But they'll keep getting their $45 million into the athletic department that they don't care about any longer. They sold the end. That's what programs are doing today. They're selling their history for money. Television network comes to them and says this to them. Hey, you're going to make $50 million. You're going to make $50 million. Do you know how much that goes towards an economics building, new housing, upgrades of facilities? They care more about that than upgrading their football program. They actually haven't been relevant since Bo Pelini was there, and he was actually winning 9 games a year. And when they fired him, they thought they were going to get somebody better, and they never did. They haven't been relevant since Bo Pelini. Nebraska, not a good football program. Wow. Unbelievable. But really believable in a way in today, right? All right, hey, folks, don't forget, check out my friends at podcasterwarehouse.com. Headphones, earbuds, anything you're looking for. If you're a gamer, this is your one-stop place. If you're looking to make a home studio, furniture, everything that you need, studio mics, right there for you. Do me a favor. Use the promo code Sileo. That's S as in Sam, I-L-E-O. That's S as in Sam, I-L-E-O. 25% off everything in the building. Go right to their website, podcasterwarehouse.com. That's podcasterwarehouse.com. I'll hit on Eric Bieniemy, but I want to tell you the 5 best quarterbacks in the NFL. Guys, if you had to pick one guy to win a game, who would it be? We'll tell you next. Yes. Dude, how embarrassing. No, but it's embarrassing that they would be on a cable net. It's like putting the World Series on like midnight. I did. Huh. Like it. Yeah, or you could like tune on like that one channel with the log during the holiday, the Yule log. Yeah. Oh, look, the Yule log. What's coming on after the Yule log? The NHL Finals. Watch this. We cut into this programming for the NHL Game 3. Your Yule log will be back in about 3 hours. Enjoy. Wow, you're ahead of me. They did. Wow, that's a big score there. Look at that too, man. Boom. Watch, he gets him at the top too. Watch his top of the circle. Wow, wait, no, blue line shot. Oh, I see it. It's off two Lightning guys. Is that Stamkos? No. Well, in case you're wondering on your cable provider to find the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, and if you're on like cable access Food Channel 17, the Montreal Canadiens just scored, so you'll probably get that in the feed here in about 20 seconds. You know, they're on a delay. They're trying to save on their stream. Yes, yeah. Hey, Norton's for all. Oh, my God. Yeah, sure, man. You should be getting the goal here soon. I'll try to keep you updated here. So it's 2-1 Lightning now. And by the way, they're in Tampa Bay for this here too for the first two games. So we'll keep you updated. This is really going to be – I think this has a chance, but they have to slow down the rush of the Lightning. Lightning have so many great lines. I think all three of their lines are very talented and could score. And I don't really think that the Habs have seen a hockey team like this in the playoffs so far. So, you know, they've had the fortune of guys missing some time. You know, Tavares missed the opening round. He was injured. And there were other guys that were in the playoffs that were knocked out here and there. And when you're with, you know, Tampa Bay and you're playing against the Bolts, they got a lot of scorers on that team. So, but I'll tell you, man, give it to the Canadians. They're playing their rear ends off right now. So we'll keep you updated on what's going on there. No question about it. Really cool. I mean, like I said, this is a little bit of an embarrassment here if you're the NHL, but the NHL has been dealing with, hopefully their new TV package with ESPN will be able to give them a little bit more exposure. So let's move on here. You know, it's funny. You know, I always get asked the question, and anytime that I look at the Chris Sims top 25 quarterbacks or top 32 quarterbacks, or I look at PFF, Pro Football Focus, don't they always have some weird metric? Well, you know, this quarterback, Dak Prescott, is a number 8 rated quarterback. And you know what the number one metric is? What do you think the number one metric is when you're evaluating a quarterback? Don't you think it's this? Watch. If you had to have one guy, and you only had 60 minutes, who would you pick? Of all 32 dudes, who would be the one guy that you would pick today to win you a ball game? Isn't that the clear and concise way you look at? Like, watch this. When you ask somebody, hey, who would be the one CEO that you would want to have run your company? You don't buy into all these metrics. Well, you know, if he's 40-some years old, he's this, he went to Harvard. Who's the one guy you would want run your company? Who's the one guy that you would want to have run your country? I don't need to have all these variables to tell me. So that's why the number one metric is one guy. Who is it? I wrote 5 guys down here. Tom Brady's number one. Would you bet? How about this? If you had everything in your life in one chip, all the money, all your assets, and you had to put that chip on a gambling table, who would be the one guy that you would bet on in the NFL? Who would be the one guy? Would it be Brady? Don't give me some dumbass metric to get clicks. Those web pages are designed for that. It's Brady. You put your chip on Brady. Would you really bet against that guy? Who would be 2? Be Mahomes. Nobody else. I wouldn't pick anybody else over Patrick Mahomes, but Tom Brady. Nobody else. See, personally, I think the first 2 were easy. Those 2 guys are the best guys. And by the way, I say this to you about Patrick Mahomes. He is absolutely the best talent I've seen at that position since Dan Marino. I've never seen a guy burst onto the scene like this. I'm going to give you my other 3 guys because there I think it gets a little bit more subjective on how you look at it. So we'll do that. But, dude, when you have one question to ask, who would you, of all the guys in the league, who would you pick? You'd pick one guy. You'd pick Tom Brady. I was asked a question about Eric Bieniemy, and it was relating to the coaching summit that just took place with the NFL general managers this past weekend. I talked to Doug Williams. I'm going to tell you why he hasn't had a job. We'll reset and keep it right here on the Dan Sileo Show. Oh, my God, no question. Let me go. I'll be right back. Mhm. I don't know. I know this, though. They've been shaking a lot up there. You know why they don't shake that much down here? And I knock on wood when I say that. It's because it's more bedrock down here. And it's looser landfill up that way. Yeah. Right. It splits off towards Mexico. And it is the San Andreas, but San Andreas runs up more towards Los Angeles. Boom. And nothing he could have done about that. Let me guess, Peacock. Wow. Terrible. Yeah, I'm all right. That's their new streaming service, right? Yeah, they're trying to grow that. I think they ended the NBC Sports Network because of Peacock. Because all that program is going to go over there. NFL is going to go Thursday Night Football, Amazon next year. Yeah, they do the direct channel thing. Also, if you don't have the cable provider, you don't get it. Almost. It's 3:45. Yeah, right. I got crackstreams.com. I'll just steal it. I got crackstreams.com. I'll just steal it. Yeah, right. Game 4 NHL Stanley Cup Finals on crackstreams.com. Even sounds perverted. Dan Sileo USA Radio Network. Oh, my God. Sorry I'm goofing on the NHL here, but I am. Not the sport. How it's presented. Okay? How it's presented. You mean to tell me there's not an appetite for that if done correctly? This is what you have with the NHL. Massive history. The best championship trophy. Would we not agree in North America? Is there another event, team sports-wise, that is a longer series? This thing goes back like to the 1870s, right? 1880s, something like that. I mean, is there America's Cup? I'm not talking that stuff. I'm talking, I can't think of anything in North America that's got more history than the NHL. And you can't sell that. Well, it's Canadian sport. But so what? You can't sell it. Why can't you sell it? Well, there's one massive reason. Obviously, diversity is not part of that and not part of that entire league, okay? There's just not enough diversity in it. But what people don't realize, there is diversity. You have Russians. You have Ukrainians. You have Germans, French. You have people from all over the world. You know, there's more of the world than just black and white. And see, people don't tie that in with diversity. Well, you think those Russians over in Russia make a killing? You think they make a lot of money over there trying to become NHL superstars? They don't. They come from some of the same impoverished inner cities over there, maybe even more so, than they do here. Okay? A guy from an inner city in, say, Russia, St. Petersburg, okay? You don't know what his background is. You don't know what his family did. When you say this, and I've talked to Chris O about this numerous times, when you say this, you're the best player in the world in the NHL. You're the best player in the world. Okay? When you say you're the best NFL guy, what are you really saying? Well, he's the best football player in North America. Because that's really the only place that it's at. But when you're talking NHL, dude, this spans the globe. Like, it's like saying when you're the best soccer player, like, why do you think Ronaldo and Messi have such a massive following? Because everybody in the world plays soccer. Everybody in the world has soccer available to everybody in their country. Well, except in this country, because what happens? And do you know what? Do you know why soccer in America will never be a superstar sport? Do you know why? Because you run people out of the sport financially. When you're in Argentina, for instance, or you're in Germany, these clubs that you get a chance to go to, those people in those other countries, they don't pay for that. You get invited to go to those. And they pick the best talented kids at an early age, and they develop them. Some kids continue to go on, and the government supports it. The government finances it. And those kids continue to grow. Where do you think Messi learned his craft? Through the Argentine soccer community and through the Argentine Soccer Federation. You think he had to spend $25,000 at a club so that you could belong? You know who told me this? Landon Donovan. The reason why most kids in this country stop at like the age of 17, because it's too financially demanding on a parent's economic book. They can't support it. Do you know some of these camps are $20,000, $25,000 in America? You ever notice why it's rich white kids that are in these soccer camps and you don't see any diversity? Because nobody from the inner city can afford it. You know what they do? All the people, and I mean poor white kids too, they play basketball. All you need, just like in Argentina, all you need is a soccer ball to be a superstar. Just like in this country, all you need is a basketball to get out of the inner city. America, do you know what America's version of soccer around the world is? Basketball. They just use their hands. People around the world use their feet. That's it. All you need is a ball. That's why we'll never be good in soccer in this country. Soccer's not available to everybody. Just like golf's not available to everybody. How many people do you know that live in the inner city, black and white, can pay for like greens fees? Get a cart. You know, I mean, $50 to go play golf. Then you have to rent the equipment. Most kids in the inner city, I doubt they have a full set of golf clubs sitting in their apartment. You know, so you got to get the clubs. You got to rent the clubs, which is about $25, $30. Then you got to get the green fees, which is about $50. You're talking $100 just to go play. Or who's got that? What inner city kid can spend $100? You could do what, once a week, if you're lucky, to go play golf. But when you play basketball, man, you can get your boys together. You can go out and find a net and go play. That's what they do around the world in soccer. They go find some sticks and they go play soccer. America, man, you got to join a club. You do. You have to join a club. And if you want to be like anybody that advances, if you're not involved in one of those clubs, that's why how come LeBron James or Michael Jordan or any of those other superstar athletes have no interest at all in soccer? Why do you think? Parents were going to pay $50,000 a year to get your kid into a camp to maybe get him on the world stage. Those kids all pay. Like the U.S. soccer team that we have, those kids pay to be on the world stage. Around the world, they don't pay. That's why we're like the 20th best team in the country, or in the world, I mean. That's why we're the 20th. We're never like in the top 10. Have you ever seen America in the top 10 ever? Like, no. We will never be a soccer power. As much as people want to keep saying we will be a soccer, we will never, ever be a soccer power. Look at the MLS. Do you guys even know when that season starts? I don't. I've never watched an MLS game in my entire life. You know why? It's minor league. Have I ever watched a Premier League game on NBC? Absolutely, I have. I've watched Manchester United. I've watched Lancaster play. I've watched some of the I know those names of a league that's in another part of the world, and I don't have any idea. I think the LA Galaxy. Does that sound right? I have no idea. I have never watched an American MLS game in my life, nor will I. It's like watching minor league soccer. I don't like soccer as it is, but I will watch the Olympics. I will watch the World Cup. Because when you watch those things, guess what? Pretty entertaining, especially when you're watching the best in the world do it. But when I'm watching like American MLS, then when you watch America play versus these other teams like Germany and France, in Argentina, Spain, it's like night and day. It's like watching Alabama versus some like team called the Citadel. It's like varsity versus JV. And if you're a soccer player in America, guess where you go to get paid? Guess where you go and play when you want to play with the best in the world? You go overseas, man. You don't play here. Nobody. You know what you do when you come and play here in America? You're a 37-year-old Beckham that comes here and plays, or a Pele that's over the hill. That's what you do. You come here and you try to like make some extra money. You make money off your name. It's like a retirement fund here. No way, man. Do you come here and play soccer in this country? All right. Let me finish up what I was talking about in the last segment here. I was talking about, like, it's funny how we look at metrics and how we look at the best people on the planet. We always come up with these variables and these narratives that we want to always try to make our spin or our take, the best take. Well, this is why you picked Dak Prescott, or this is why you picked some other stiff. Not saying that Dak's a stiff. He's not. But this is why you picked this guy. It's really dumb, stupid. It really is. There's one statement. If you had to, how about this? If you had to pick one guy to win a game, who would it be? If you had to pick one leader, who would it be? If you had to, you know who these people are to your taste. That's why I said earlier, Brady and Mahomes, these two guys, Brady's one, Mahomes is two. And then there's the rest of these guys, right? You had to have 60 minutes and you had your entire family's fortune on the table. Who would you pick? Dude. Would you ever bet against that guy? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Mahomes is in that category as well. And he'll be that guy when Brady leaves the game. 3 to 5? Yeah, I got 3 at Russell Wilson. You know what I love about Wilson? He was told at NC State, guess what, man? You're not good enough to play here anymore. We're going to give the job to Mike Glennon. You know who Mike Glennon is? He's some vagabond guy who's just some sort of carpetbagger that goes from team to team. And Jesse James, when he robbed banks, at least he used a gun. This guy walks into an owner's room and just steals money because it's the position. Mike Glennon has made more money sucking than anybody I've ever seen next to Sam Bradford. It gets these monster deals. So what did Wilson have to do? Wilson goes to Wisconsin, takes the team to a Rose Bowl, gets drafted in the third round. Do you know Russell Wilson has never had a losing season in his 9 years in Seattle? 2 NFC titles, a Super Bowl championship, never garnered 1 MVP vote too. And all he does is win. If I needed a guy, 60 minutes, be hard-pressed to say that guy couldn't win a ball game for you. I think you'd be shocked on this guy here. I'm for, I'm kind of in a pickle here with this guy, Aaron Rodgers. And it's funny, he's the reigning MVP. You know why? He doesn't really come off as the best teammate. But I'd be hard-pressed to go like this. This guy over the last 2 years is 26-6. He's got the pieces around him. Man, hard to beat that guy. But Brady beat him twice last year. Brady beat him twice. So I got Rodgers at 4. And I got Roethlisberger at 5. You know why? Ben knows how to win. Are you really going to bet against Ben? With who? Josh Allen? I don't know anything about Josh Allen yet. Who? Kyler Murray? I don't know. Maybe one day he'll be great. How about Lamar Jackson? I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's Ben. I just don't think he's Ben. This new Tom Brady is really worth watching. I saw something on The Shop. I'll explain. Guys dropping F-bombs. Yeah, Tom Brady. We'll do it next. No what? Oh, he hit it with his hand. Then oh my God, what a great goal. Why not? He hit it with a stick. Wow. It's rigged. Wow. OAN. Is it hot in Dallas? Oof. Do you know what the Habs are not doing a good job of? Clearing out the front of the net. Oh, nice. What's the city again? What's the name of it? It, it it's Sur. Okay, Surfside. That's it. It's near Miami Beach. Yep. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Want to throw some comments out on the devastation in Surfside, Florida. I found out some information, and I was talking to the mayor down there of Miami and what was going on and what caused. They're obviously still going through the investigation of what caused the building to fall, the apartment building, and to create that devastation there. I want to give you a little bit of a city ordinance that was going on prior to the building falling and collapsing. Well, last year, there was a $15 million renovation plan that was going to be put into play for that building. Here's why. If you have a building complex that's over 40 years of age, it's mandatory in the state of Florida, especially in South Florida, that you have, because of hurricanes and because of the sand. Remember something, the more north you get in Florida, the more bedrock you have. The more south you get, the more swampy conditions you get as you go south and as you go towards the glades. It's unstable land. And everyone knows this. There's more sinkholes that end up popping up in the southern part of the state than anywhere. There's pretty good sinkholes pop up over on the Tampa side as well, but that's because it's close to the Gulf. Well, let me give you a little bit more on what was to happen. There was, like I said, a $15 million renovation plan that was put into place by the people who owned the apartment complex. Well, what happened last year? COVID ended all of that with distancing, and people were not going to put that kind of money into a plan when people could barely pay their rent. So the landlord and the owners of the building were just trying to stay above water by collecting rents, getting some help from the government. You know, the renters rule or law that the government was going to offset people who were missing their rent. Many buildings in South Florida, people were not paying the rent because of COVID, they were not able to work. Social distancing. Now, Governor DeSantis pretty much had that state open, but still, many businesses were still practicing what the CDC and what the federal government was doing. So where I'm going with this is that got delayed, that plan. And it even said on the work order, this must be addressed. So it wasn't like they were not wanting to do this. This was not like negligence on their part. This is my opinion now. This was a direct result of the pandemic and the tragedy of the pandemic that stopped this renovation from happening. Now, if you're in the state of Florida now and you're under the same premise of what that work order was, and you see what just happened, you might want to get to that right away. From what I understand, they started working on the roof in the last couple months. And they were working on the roof trying to start the renovation of the building. You have to remember something, again, like I said, in that part of the state, it's very, very unstable land. That's why you have to have it fit all the time. Hurricanes go through that area all the time and because it's on coral too. You got to remember, as you get closer to the end of the state down there, most of that stuff is on coral. You go more towards the middle of the state and up towards Tallahassee, it's more bedrock. That's just the state of Florida, if you know that. I've lived there 25 years. Half my life I lived in the state of Florida. Everyone knows that. So when people were saying, oh my God, negligence, it wasn't really. Now, should they have started maybe instead of waiting until the very end, 40 years, should they have waited that long? But the pandemic held it up. Another tragedy because of the pandemic. I want to hit on Eric Bieniemy, why he doesn't have a job in the NFL. We'll hit on it next. Actually, I had a Greek ending. I put it on one of those scaffolds and I hoisted it to the air and I lit it on fire. And I put 2 quarters like on the nozzle head to signify the ending of the water bottle. Ooh, Grandpa Kong. Talk about a hero. Oh, are you kidding me? I mean, these guys, there's statues everywhere of Grandpa Kong. Carlington Cemetery, yes. There's a really great cemetery right next to J.F. Kong. Yeah, actually does. Just burns bright. Right there over all the other Kong heroes. Yeah, well, the Kongsters, there's some Kongsters that got the, Congressional Kongster Medal of Honor. Yeah, but man, I didn't realize, we had a 9/11, man. It was like, all of a sudden I get a call from the budget office. I get a call from the budget office, and the Kong budget office, man, starts calling me, and I'm like this. Holy cow, man. We got to get federal relief. We had to go on a GI Kong bill. The Pentacon. I like the Pentacon. Was that ever? Hey, let me tell you this, man. You want to see? You should have seen me, man. I was a complete dick. Oof. No, in real life, I said, you know what, man? I don't like being a traffic cop, and I don't like running people down. Let me just tell you something. I'm Italian. I'm going to tell you once to get in that hole. And get this, there ain't going to be another time. Oh, yeah. No, not him. Not him. It was some other stuff. No, not him. It's the guy that does the football thing. Blow him up with a J and B. Hey, oh, agreed. An Italian Molotov with amaretto. Kremlin. Russian dude. Two people will never beat out Russians and Germans. Told you, man. No Puma or BKs or any of that crap. We don't have that here. we don't wear BKs or Pumas. Nuh-uh. Maybe. Of course. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Yeah, the NHL, soon to be on Dish TV. Dude. Like, you know, the Liberty Mutual guy, that like ostrich on Animal Planet's going to be like the MC. Chris O just said Puppy Bowl. Hell, Puppy Bowl, I'll take it as a lead-in. Probably get more ratings than the NHL Finals. You put the Dogminster Dog Show on, whatever the hell that thing is, I'll take it. Give me the dog channel. The little doggy puppy channel. I don't care. What the hell? How about Big Dog TV? I don't. Oh, my God. Yeah, the NHL will be soon on Peacock. Well, how do I get it? You got to download it. If I have to download something to watch a finals, it's so awful. Can you imagine going to the NFL going like this? Hey, look, man, I know you guys have a big game. It's Patriots and Buccaneers, Thursday Night Football. But American Ninja Warrior's on at that time. And I don't know if we can bump that. Yeah, but wait a minute. It's Brady. Okay, it's Brady and it's Cowboys. Oh, yeah, but we got American Ninja Warrior, man. I mean, no, you're missing it. Do you understand the Cowboys get like 20 shares? Yeah, I don't care. We have American Ninja Warrior on. American Ninja Warrior bumped the NHL Finals. Games 1 and 2. Embarrassing. It's embarrassing. That will be tweeted out. And by the way, once again, Gary Bettman, that's the best that dude can do? Well, then guess what you need to do? I'm going to hire Bob Iger as my new commissioner of the NHL. I don't need a hockey guy. I need an entertainment guy as my commissioner. I don't need Gary Bettman any longer. The NHL is going to be around for 1 billion years. It's the oldest sport in North America. I looked it up. I need an entertainment guy. Somebody that knows how to promote things. Give me a legendary agent to run it. By the way, the Bolts are just destroying now the Canadians. It's 4-1. And Price, he had to have won the Conn Smythe Award in every single game, basically, for them to have a shot. And the Bolts are just firing at random right now on Corey Price. And it's now looking like this could be a series in 5, the Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, this is going to be a repeat. Can you imagine that? The NHL working in Tampa. This will be Tampa's 3rd cup and their 2nd straight cup. if they get this thing done. That's incredible. Talk about like making the NHL expand. They've done everything right, haven't they? Expanded to California. All those teams were successful. The Sharks, the Kings, the Ducks, right? All successful. The Seattle team was going to be great. Look at the Las Vegas Knights, how successful they've been since their inception. I mean, it's been really wonderful. Look at Nashville. Hey, how about this? As much as this pains me to say, how about Carolina? Look at those fans in Carolina and how they love that Carolina Hurricane team. And they've actually won a cup, haven't they? I mean, the NHL is good at the business of hockey. They're horrible at promoting it. They have the worst TV deal going, man. Just not good. Gary Bettman should be fired for this. You are on cable access on a network no one cares about. Wow. And then you expect people, if NBC, watch this, if NBC doesn't care about the Stanley Cup Finals, why should the American sports fan? But see, this is what the networks do. The networks go like this. It ain't us. If there was an appetite for it, well, dude, do a better job of promoting it. You promote all these dopey-ass shows that you guys put on your network. Do a better job at promoting the NHL. You see all those dopey-ass shows that NBC has? They're terrible. Terrible shows on NBC. That Golden Globes thing that they put on? Give me a break. All right, let me go into this now. So there was a symposium this past weekend, and there was a coaching summit this past weekend in Phoenix, Arizona. And what it did was it addressed minority hirings and the advancement of minority coaches in the NFL. And one of the cases that was brought up was the Eric Bieniemy case, the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, and why he's been passed over so many times. And what does the lamestream media initially do right away? What do? They initially jump right to the conclusion that the NFL must be racist because Eric Bieniemy doesn't have a job. Okay. On the surface, it looks like that. On the surface, when you see Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland, you see Staley in Los Angeles with the Chargers, you even see Cliff Kingsbury in Arizona, you do this. How did these guys get those gigs? They were not experienced NFL head coaches, and many of them, this is their first gig. Brandon Staley, the head coach of the Chargers, this is his first head coaching gig at any level. And he's the head coach of the Chargers over Eric Bieniemy. How's that possible? Now, Eric Bieniemy has taken his team, the Kansas City Chiefs, to the Super Bowl the last 2 years for Andy Reid. He's Andy Reid's OC. Now, some would say this. Well, Andy Reid's really the offensive coordinator. Andy Reid, the head coach, is giving just absolutely great reviews on Eric Bieniemy. Well, let's do this. So I started doing some due diligence, and I said, really, there's got to be something really in the conversation here on why he doesn't have a job. Why does Eric Bieniemy not have a job? Well, then I started looking at his criminal past and some of the arrests that he's had. This guy's actually been in cuffs. But see, the media ignores that. Can you imagine if any other candidate had something like that in his past? You just can't ignore that. Had a run-in with a fireman, had a run-in with campus police when he was a player at Colorado, had a run-in as an assistant with some police officers. There was a domestic case as well. So when Eric Bieniemy's name keeps being brought up and people keep throwing racism out, you can't have it both ways. You know, when a coach is given the keys to a franchise, okay, and he's given the keys to a franchise, you hope he has good character. Well, in the case here, Bieniemy's past is caught up with him because no owner's going to go like this. God, this guy's been in front of the law 20 times. He's had numerous run-ins with police. And yet everybody has stepped up and spoken for him. Well, let me throw this at you. If this was any other person or this was a white candidate, he'd be cancel culture. He'd be a guy who would never get an opportunity. He wouldn't even be in the NFL coaching if he had Eric Bieniemy's past. Now, look, do I think everybody deserves a second opportunity to redeem themselves? No question about it. I do. No question about it. I think you have a chance to redeem yourself. And maybe he has. But when people are doing this and people are constantly saying this and going like this to people, hey, man, this guy here has got some questionable things in his past. And he's got something here that he's been in front of the police a few times here. Is that somebody you want to name as your head football coach? But see, today, he's going to get a pass. He will get a job. He will get an opportunity to be a coach again. He'll get an opportunity. And I'm talking being a head coach. He'll get a chance. But this is the stuff that's not fair, okay? One guy has a checkered past, and just because he's a minority gets an opportunity to become a head coach and you forgive that, that's not right. And I've said this to Doug Williams, and I've said this to everybody. I do not want a black coach as my head coach. I want the right coach as my head coach. Race should not be an issue. I don't want you to hire a coach because he's a minority, just as much as I don't want you to hire the owner's son to be the coach of the team. I want that guy to get a job on his merit, his hard work, his climbing the ladder like every other coach in the history of the league has done. That's how you build credibility. That's how you build a desire to want to play for somebody like that because they've gone through the chain of command. Hey, when I see a white coach given the opportunity and a really fast one, I question that. Well, he must be somebody's friend. I completely say that because I said this about Brandon Staley of the Chargers. I went, how'd that guy get the job? I don't ever remember that guy being an assistant coach or even a coordinator for numerous years. I don't even know. I don't know who he is. I said the same thing. How'd that guy get the job? But I wasn't the first thing out of my mouth was doing this. Well, he got the job because he's a white. I want to know how he got the job. Did he know somebody? Did he know the Spanoses? Was there a connection somewhere? Because that's not going to build equity in the locker room with guys. What do you think people have a problem with Tim Tebow in the locker room? Because he's boys with Urban Meyer. Is he a spy for Urban Meyer? He's getting an opportunity because he's Urban Meyer's boy. You think anybody really on that Jaguar team, if they were being honest with people, do you really think that they're going to sit there and go like this? Hey, I think it's cool that Tim Tebow got an opportunity to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. There won't be one guy in that building that would say that. Not one guy. Do you know how hard it is to get on the 90-man roster just to get a chance? This guy's been out of the game for 8 years. I despise that too. What about the guys who have put their life on the line, their family's economic wealth on the line? How about the amount of hours you put in just to get a chance? That guy gets a free pass because he's Urban Meyer's boy. Okay? People in the locker room don't respect that. Just like if you go like that. Now, this is a perspective from a white dude. Do we need the Rooney Rule, which means you have to interview minority candidates before you make a hire? I guess it's their version of affirmative action. I guess we need it. Okay? I guess we do. Because people are going to hire who they're comfortable with. And that's always going to be. I know some. By the way, if I had a business, I'm not going to not hire people that I don't trust. And those are going to be my friends. Are they going to be mostly white? They're going to be a mixture because I'm friends with everybody. But I'm going to put people in the room that I trust that aren't going to be a Judas to me as I'm trying to build my franchise or I'm trying to build my business up. I'm going to put people in the building that I absolutely have trust with. So whatever that means and however that looks, that's where I'm coming from. And you know what? That's where most coaches come from. You think coaches hire coaches in the NFL because they're white or because they're in a comfort zone with those dudes? And most of the assistants are white. It's got nothing to do with race. But you know what? The perception has everything to do with race. Because most people outside the sport don't know what these coaches go through. You know, most of these coaches are gypsies. You know, my friend Frank Reich, who's the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, do you know how many jobs he got before he became a head coach in the NFL? 14. Do you know how many jobs my friend Jed Fish, who's now the head coach of the Arizona Wildcats, he had 18 jobs before he landed his first head coaching gig. All those guys had gone, they're gypsies with their families, their wives and their kids sacrificed. They pick up every year, a coach gets fired or something happens at a program. That guy ends up leaving. Hire the right guy, man. Hire the best guy. All right. Hey, do me a favor. Check out our friends at podcasterwarehouse.com. Headphones, earbuds, every single thing that you need is there for you. Gamers, this is your one-stop place. If you need office furniture or you need studio furniture, they have it for you. 25% off everything on the website. Free shipping. Use the promo code Sileo, S as in Sam, ILEO. You can spend as much as $5 to $5,000. Podcasterwarehouse.com. That's podcasterwarehouse.com. My favorites going into training camp. In the division, I'll explain what I'm talking about. We'll do it next. You keep it here on the Sileo Show. See, hey, get this. See, I love that little pause. You go like this. I don't want a black guy as my coach. Then you pause. I want the right guy as my coach, which is true. I do. I'm just teaching you how to do things with, emphasis and using timely pauses, as Rush would say. Timely pauses, They're called caesurs. Men have 28 of them. You use cracking your knuckles. You're like a jerk. Wow. I'm surprised it didn't fall off with that noise. Heck, you think? Uh-huh. Oh, that's great. That means you're getting into a comfort zone. Wow, children and everything. Yeah, don't you think it would be kind of like the buildings falling in New York? I mean, you all of a sudden it's over. Instant like that, right? As I said, Gary Bettman should be fired. I've got some alternative channels here that I think the NHL could maybe do better at if they want to put their finals on something. So you ready? Then where they are now with the NBC Sports Network, that's going away at the end of the year. How about Clo TV? Let me see here. How about SoapNet TV? I heard that's a. Let's see here. This one was given to me. Lifetime Real Women. You know, they could do like a pregame show for you there and just come out and model like the sweaters and stuff. Let's see here. I think the Weather Channel would be too good for them. Or for Bettman, at least. Let's see here. How about the Live Well Network? Live Big with Ali Vincent. Live Big with Ali Vincent. That's something there for you, man. The Home Shopping Network. No way, man. That's a big network. TV Land. Now there you're talking, man. Happily Divorced right before you could drop the NHL Finals on it. My boy Chris O could probably do a pregame on that one. Hold on here. Lifetime Movie Network. I don't know, man. That probably gets numbers too. You know what? We said C-SPAN 3. Chris was right. There is a C-SPAN 3. Politics. Absolutely. You were right, man. Oh, this is a great one. The Speed Network. Let's see. The dumbest stuff on wheels. I'm talking about their hit shows. GSN Baggage. Right before you could drop that on there. Telemundo. Hottest anchors in the world. Okay. Hey, very talented weather people. See what I said there? People. I like it. How about this one, though? CMT. And get this, their top show is Redneck Island. Hold on, I get another one here for you. Let me see. Nah, the Golf Channel's too good. How about you too? No way, man. I actually watched that thing. Animal Planet. How about the Hallmark Channel? Top show. Marie and then the finals. I like it. Lifetime. No way. That's too good. Me TV. The Bridezillas. Oh, my God. I love the TV Guide. How about E! Entertainment? Right there with Talk Soup. Yeah, right. Keeping Up with Vladi. How about the TLC Network? Toddlers and Terriers. Let's see, man. If I could come up with anything worse, I'm just trying to figure out where we could put this. You think? Okay. Let's see here. No, I think some of these cable channels here. Oh, here we go. See, now I like Sundance. I do, don't you? I like Sundance. Here, you know what? We could always do these with, like, right after the Stanley Cup. The Jerry Springer show could be right after. You always get hit in the head with a chair in that thing. My Mother, the Car. Oh, I like it. Cop rock. Did I almost hear an F-bomb? Holy cow, an F-bomb. How about the greatness of the Chevy Chase show? Oh, my God almighty, man. Gary Bettman's going to get destroyed on my Twitter page. You can look for it at Dan Sileo Show. Gary Bettman's got the NHL Stanley Cup Finals on NBCSN. Holy cow. Not cool. I want to hit one time on Tom Brady and what he's doing, this new Tom Brady. It's amazing, okay? It's amazing. We'll keep you updated on what's going on with the Stanley Cup Finals. We'll reset. You keep it here on the Sileo Show. 5-1. Yeah, it's over. Yep. Hey, dude, thank you very much for everything that you've done. And thank you very much for, making my life so much easier. I do know that, man, and I do know you're absolutely phenomenal, dude. I love you, man. I'll talk to you. Bye-bye, man.